Today I'm going to be talking about it's time to run. It's time to run to Jesus. It's time to run to the right place for rescue, for saving, for finding what God actually has for you. So many times we get into difficult times, we get into difficult seasons and challenging times in our lives, and we tend to run to the wrong thing. We tend to run to people. We tend to run into our own mind and listening to what our thoughts are saying. We tend to run to what the media is saying. We tend to run to so many places, but we don't run to Jesus. So it is time to run. Say, it's time to run. Oh, you got to say better than that. Say, it's time to run. There we go. Throughout worship, I just felt such an increase of faith in this place. An increase of, a hope just rising up in your hearts. As you guys were singing, that Jesus is worthy of it all, that we're running after Jesus, that He is our devotion. I don't know about you, but I just feel like a sense of faith just rising up. And I believe that today is something being unlocked in your lives that you have been waiting for, that you have been hoping for a long time, or perhaps you already gave that up because you don't believe it will happen again, or you don't believe that will come to true. So many times, or come to pass, so many times, we get to difficult seasons and we give up the word of God that He has spoken in the past because we can't see with our own eyes that will come true, that will come to pass. Are you guys with me? But today I feel like there is a unlocking of what God has in your life. So dreams that you have been given up, dreams that you've already walked away from, or perhaps a season of trial that you were in. I believe that God is coming in and He's ready to partner with you. Are you guys good with that? Yeah? So I want you to put your hand in your heart and say, Jesus, I want to believe again. And say, Holy Spirit, I want to get up and run. Come on, so good. Mel and I, we're going through, being through some of the hardest seasons that we've been in our lives. Lots of things going on, lots of disappointment, lots of curves that it wasn't really how we planned and how we prepared for. And at some points we were hanging on by a thread. It's like, maybe we should just let it go because maybe it's easy for us to walk away from all of this. But what we felt like it was God, it was actually giving us an injection of faith that He is coming and that He is in the room. He knows us. He knows our pain. He knows what we're going through. He knows the word that He has spoken over us. He knows the promises better than you do because He's the one that has created you. And that just gave us a sense of hope that we didn't have before. And what I want to share with you guys today is something that I believe it will really change your season and change and unlock things in your life that you have been waiting for. We're going to go through a story. So if you guys want to open in John chapter 11, it's a story of a man that passes away, but he's someone who's really close to Jesus. Jesus knew him personally, not only him, but Jesus knew the family. You guys have heard about Mary and Martha, and if you have not, that's totally fine. It's basically a family. Mary and Martha would follow Jesus basically everywhere He went. And their brother Lazarus got really sick and basically, to a point where he passed away. And Jesus operating miracles and bringing things to life wasn't there at the moment when it all happened. So Jesus was not there at the moment when one of the best people on earth for them, the people that He actually was dear to His heart, He wasn't there to save them in the moment that they needed. Okay, and we're gonna go through this story, and I'm hoping that this will edify your heart in the way that you're gonna walk out of here today seeing things coming alive that you have already been given up in your life. So John chapter 11, so we're gonna start on verse 5, and basically, from verse 1 to 4 is just talking about how Lazarus is really sick, and just talking about, that he's about to die. So verse 5, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. But oddly, when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed on where he was for 2 more days. Say 2 more days. After the 2 days, he said to his disciples, let's go back to Judea. Then let's fast forward to verse 17. When Jesus finally got there, he found Lazarus already 4 days dead. Say 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, only a couple miles away, and many of the Jews were visiting Martha and Mary, sympathizing with them over their brother. Martha heard Jesus was coming and went out to meet him, and Mary remained in the house. Verse 21, Martha said, Master, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died. Even now, I know that whatever you ask, God, he will give you. Verse 23, Jesus said, your brother will be raised up. And Martha replied, I know that he will be raised up in the resurrection at the end of time. You don't have to wait until the end. I'm right here, right now. Say right here, right now. Resurrection and life. The one who believes in me, even though he or she dies, will live. And everyone who lives believing in me, say believing, does not ultimately die at all. Do you believe in this? And verse 27, yes, Master, all along I have believed that you are the Messiah, the Son of God who comes into the world. After saying all this, she went to her sister Mary and whispered in her ears, the teacher is here and is asking for you. Verse 29, the moment she heard that, she jumped up, say jumped up, and ran out to him. Jesus had not yet entered the town, but was still at the place where Martha had just met with him. When her sympathizing Jews friends saw Mary running out of the house, they followed her, thinking she was going to visit the tomb. But Mary came to Jesus where he was waiting and basically fell at his feet, saying, Master, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. Verse 33, when Jesus saw that she was crying, and the Jews with her were also crying, a deep, deep anger yelled up within him, and he said, where did you put him? Verse 34, Master, come and see, they said, and Jesus wept. Verse 36, the Jews said, look how deeply he loved him. By seeing how Jesus was crying, right? 37, others among them said, well, if he loved him so much, why didn't he do something to keep him from dying? And after all, he opened the eyes of a blind man. Verse 38, then Jesus arrived at the tomb, and it was a simple cave on the hillside with a slab of stone laid against it. And Jesus said, remove the stone. And the story finishes by Jesus telling Lazarus to walk out of the tomb alive. Now, there's a couple things I want to highlight for you here. Clearly, we get from the story that Jesus didn't show up when Martha and Mary wanted him to show up, okay? So there's a question of timing here. There's a question here that even when he heard that his friend was going to pass away, even when he heard that Lazarus was going to die, oddly enough, he decided to stay where he was for 2 days. Can you say, my time is not God's time? It is not. So there's a crazy question of timing in here where Jesus just didn't bother coming when he could have kept Lazarus from dying. And even the people around are talking about it. It's like, what is he doing here now? He could have come way early and avoided for this to happen. But let me tell you, how many of you guys know that sometimes Jesus just needs some things in your life to die so he can actually bring it back to life? Okay, I'll go here, right here. How many of you guys know that sometimes things in our lives needs to die because Jesus wants to bring it back to life? There we go. Man, I haven't preached to youth in a long time because we've been in quarantine, so I'm really missing the energy, you know? Timing is really different than what we believe in what God's timing is. It's very different. He sees it very differently than we see. He gets there 4 days after the dude passed away. The guy was already smelling. Probably his body was just starting to rotten, you know? Everything, the circumstances was saying that is not possible. The people around were saying it's not possible. It's been way too long. Everything that they could see with their earthly eyes was telling them this is not possible. Jesus missed the ball here completely. Jesus totally missed. And you can see how this creates a little bit of disappointment. You can see how this actually creates a little bit of, I'm disappointed at God because He wasn't here when I needed Him. And both Martha and Mary, spoke to Jesus saying, you were not here when we needed you. Where were you? We are your friends. You know us. You've been to our house. We've been out with you. What's up with that? And disappointment could have basically left them in a place of hopelessness where everything just starts smelling. How many of you guys just go through seasons in your life that things are just long past that you're like, that smells bad and I don't even want to get back. I don't even want to pick up that dream again because you know what? I'm just hopeless about that. It's starting to smell. It stinks every time you think about it. Every time you're like, oh man, I would have loved if I could. Oh, I can't even go there. It stinks. It's rotting inside of you, and there's a real disappointment about it. Disappointment at God, disappointment at people, disappointment at yourself. And when we are in a place of disappointment, you can choose to step into a place of justice where you want to make things happen with your own energy and actions. You want to be the problem solver. You are like, that was injustice. This should have not happened. Where was Jesus? And you can spend your life in this place of justice, just trying to bring justice to what you think it should have happened. And you can spend your entire life saying, Jesus, you are not there. You can spend your entire life saying, Jesus, if I go to church every Sunday, I'm a Christian, but you were not there for me. And you can spend your life just trying to bring justice to a situation, to something that you have deeply grieved. Or in the same place of disappointment, you can actually step into a place of grace where you can access the fullness of what God has for you. That doesn't matter what died. That doesn't matter what actually happened. What matters is that He is God and He is the one that can bring things back to life, and He's ready to do so in your life today. That He is the God that waits for things to die and perhaps 3 days, 4 days, a year, and He brings it back to life. One way or the other, He is a God that restores. When we step into a place of grace, it seems just crazy. It seems unlogical. It seems absolutely insane because it doesn't make sense. You're holding on to something that you can't see. You're holding on your faith with faith. You're believing for something that you can't really see it coming to pass. But it's either you step in this place that is absolutely unlogical, but it is in the grace of God, or you continue to be in this place of justice where bitterness just comes in and dwells in your heart, where unforgiveness is just part of your language, where it's just unhappiness and you're dying on the inside. So you can choose to be in a place where it's absolutely insane, but you're under the grace of God and you see Him come through, or you're going to be in a place of justice where nothing's going to happen because all you're trying to do is to prove a point. Mary and Martha just walked out to Jesus and they were angry. Can't really say that. They were angry. And they said, Jesus, you were not here. How could you not be here? And from that place of disappointment, after expressing to God, this is what we're actually feeling in our hearts. And Jesus actually sympathized with them and cried with them. After expressing their disappointment, but stepping to a place of grace, they said, Jesus, we still believe. We still believe that this can come to pass because we believe in you. We believe that you are the God who brings the dead back to life. We believe that you are the God that is the miracle maker. We believe that you are the God who is faithful. They stepped into that place of our faith is still unshakable because we believe in you. And not only that, they were ready to leave that place where the conversations were unhealthy, where everything was cloudy, where the situation was just showing them that it's impossible to bring Lazarus back to life. Maybe Jesus is not even coming back at all. They were ready to jump out of that place and run towards Jesus when they heard that Jesus was coming. It's time for you to jump and run. It's time for us to jump and run, to leave this place of hopelessness in our life, to leave this place where everything's telling us that it's not possible, to leave this space where things are stinking already because it's been dead past 4 days, to leave that place and actually jump out and run towards Jesus and say, Jesus, I am angry, but I still believe that you can heal me, that I still believe that you can change things around. I still believe that you can actually turn my life around. You know, in this season where it's been quite challenging emotionally, physically, even spiritually. When I was preparing for this message, Jesus was challenging me and saying, when are you going to run to me? When are you going to stop to, just dwell in hopelessness and actually run to me? And my words exactly was, Jesus, everything right now stinks. And I have absolutely no hope. And it was right in that place where Jesus just met me and encountered me. And it was when faith just rised up and I said, Jesus, but I still believe that you can come through. And sometimes the way He comes through is not necessarily to give you back what you lost, but it's to use you to bring back to other people what they have lost. I remember one of my aunts. She was just, the doctors had told her that she was going to die, that she only had 6 months. She was stage 4 cancer. I forgot specifically what her cancer was, but it was just all bad. And I remember we drove there to her house and we surrounded her bed. She was just lying down there. And man, the faith in the room. Everyone was praying with such a faith. Everyone was praying with such a belief, saying, God, we believe that you can come through. I've only felt that much faith in my life, very little times in my life, but I can say that that room was filled with faith. And for me, Jesus didn't come through on that one. And my aunt passed away. And it was painful. Extremely painful. And hopelessness was just dwelling in my life. And I said, well, what's even the point to pray? What's even the point to go after healing and miracles and all of that? And oddly enough, about 3 years after that, a dear friend of my family encountered the same exactly cancer that my aunt just died 3 years past. And here it is, the guy was told that he was gonna die 6 months from there. And we call him into our house and we just start worshiping in the living room. And we laid hands on him. And it was just that decision, that internal conflict, because that exactly same problem, I didn't see God coming through. So it was that internal conflict, like, should I pray? Should I even put my expectations high? Should I even go there in my heart? And we prayed for him. And the next week, he went into a test and absolutely everything was cleared out. And he was completely healed. Why am I telling you this story? It's because perhaps, I don't know what disappointments or places you've been in, the trials in your life. And maybe you maybe like me, you have lost something that you can't get back. But listen, God can still use you to bring life to that very same thing that you have lost. God can actually use you to bring miracle and life into the people around you on that same thing that just almost killed you emotionally, spiritually. God can actually use you and turn your life around if you decide to jump and run towards Him, because He is the one and only one who can do it. So we gotta stop running around just trying to find the solution on the people around us or find the miracle, in our own heads. Sometimes we stay inside of our heads and we're just so much negativity and you're fighting on their own. When everything that you can see, everything that you can experience, everything just stinks and smells. But you gotta jump and run towards Jesus, because He not only wants to use you, but He wants you to be the one bringing life to a place that you probably don't see in your own life. But I also want you to step up today and say, Jesus, I still believe in you. I still believe in you on the things that I have given up. I still believe in you on the dreams that I don't think it was possible anymore. I still believe in you, that you are the one. And even if I need to run towards you, I'll make that choice, because you are my last stop. You are my last stop. So when you are running, who are you running to? When you're running, who are you running to? Or which place are you going to be in? Are you going to dwell in that place of justice and trying to get things done with your own hands? Or are you going to step into the grace of God and bring all the real emotions with you and say, God, I'm angry, but I'm under your grace. God, you are not there, but I'm choosing to still believe in you. Jesus wants to bring things back to life in your life, in your heart today, in your family, around you. But you gotta make a choice. When you hear Jesus coming, are you ready to jump and run towards Him? Let's just jump on our feet, jump onto our feet. And I want today that even on your own, if you feel like, there's so much hopelessness right now and you can't do it on your own, I want you to, for just a second, to just step back. And let's just step into the grace of God. Let's just step into that place where the emotions are real, the disappointment is still real. Everything we're feeling is still real. Hopelessness, it stinks around us. We can smell something that is being dead in our lives for so long, but we're choosing to step in that place of grace. And right now, I want to invite you to actually physically just hold it with your hands out here and hold it in the palm of your hands, the very thing that you have given up on. Who is your Lazarus? Or what is your Lazarus? What is the thing that have died? What is the thing that have passed that you haven't seen God coming with a miracle, coming with life? Just hold it on in front of you. And Jesus, we trust you. We believe in you. We believe in who you are. We believe in your power. We believe in the things that you do. You were a Jesus that came back from life 3 days after everyone just thought it wouldn't happen. So Father, here it is. The very thing that we can't bear with anymore. We can't carry on our shoulders by ourselves anymore. And maybe it's something that we have given up or we're about to. Jesus, today we hold it in front of you and we ask you, would you come? I'm ready to jump and run out of this room if I can see that you're coming. I'm ready to jump out of this place of hopelessness and run towards you if I can see that you're coming. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Jesus, we love you. Jesus, we love you. And in this place where we feel like we can't even worship, right now we choose to do the absolutely opposite. So just lift up a song, lift up your own words, and start worshiping Jesus. He's here in the room. He's walked in here right now, and He's ready to take from you the things that you are ready to give up to Him. He's ready to take from you the things that have already died. He's ready to actually bring back to life the dreams, being back to life, the place in you that is just, there's no hope anymore. He's right here in this room. And when you step into this place of grace, it is absolutely unlogical. It is absolutely unreasonable. It's insane. It's insane to worship Jesus while holding something that have died, while holding something in front of us that we just don't have faith for anymore. So right now, just lift your hands. Just lift in your heart. Just lift His name, Jesus. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we adore you. We believe in you. We believe that you are the one and the only one that can bring us back to life. We believe that you are the one that can bring hope into our hearts. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, I adore you and I worship you. Even when it hurts, even when it's painful, even when it smells, even when there's no hope, I lift my eyes and I worship you, Jesus. I worship you, Jesus. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you, Jesus. I believe in you, Jesus. Just allow the Holy Spirit to start depositing hope in your heart again. He is here and He wants to sympathize with you. He wants to cry with you. He wants to He's okay to take anything that is painful. It's being painful for you. He's okay to take that away, but He wants to bring it back. He wants to give you something new today. He wants to give you a new faith today. He wants to give you a new level of hope today. He wants to give you something that maybe is not exactly what you lost, but He wants to give you something new today. All you need to say is, yes, Jesus, I believe in you. Let's say that together. Yes, Jesus, I believe in you. Let's say that one more time. Yes, Jesus, I believe in you.